What's the difference between agents who struggle and agents who thrive? I would say support, real support. Wouldn't you agree? Today, I'm joined by Gogo Bethke, who leads a 1,600 agent organization built on coaching, mentorship, training, and community. Now, if you ask me, she's created what most agents dream about, an ecosystem where you are not alone and where you have the resources, the training, and the people who will totally help you succeed. And here's what matters to you. Through our partnership, Momentum Pack agents get access to everything she's built. Absolutely phenomenal. So if you're done doing this alone and are ready for real infrastructure, this conversation is for you. Let's go. Hey, Gogo, thanks for coming on today. So excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. So yeah, I know that it's going to be loaded with information. So I've just brought a pen and a notebook so that I'm going to be making notes, if it's okay with you. Okay.
I always have. I cannot live without my pen and notebook.
Definitely. But let's roll, if you will. So yeah, you've accomplished so much right now. So if you can take us back and then walk us through the journey from your initial days, the struggles, and how you just rose from oblivion to success, a success figure, that'll be wonderful.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, I was oblivious. It actually happened to me this weekend. We went to a Gypsy King concert, and I realized after my husband took some videos of me and he sent it to me, and I was the only one who stood up and was dancing in the whole crowd. And I had no idea I was the only one dancing. Like, I was just having the best concert of my life, right? And so that kind of just brings you back to how I am. It is my personality. Like, I really don't care what people think, so much so that I don't even realize when I'm the only one standing up in a whole concert. Everybody was very sophisticated and sitting, at the concert, and it's Gypsy Kings. I mean, it's like that music that I don't know how you sit through it. Like, my blood wants to dance, right? And so same with social media. Like, what I did to build my name, the Gogo's real estate brand back in the day, like, nobody even had a Facebook business page, let alone to start posting things of yourself, right? Like, not this is my listings and the latest closings and all that, but actual like things that you're learning and things on your mind and, as a business owner and all that. So I think it really just comes down to then I really don't think or care what people think of me. And when you don't care, you just put whatever you want out there because it doesn't affect you what it happens on the receiving end. This is who I am, take it or leave it. And I think it's helpful if you decide to do business on social media to have this mentality, because if you don't care what people think, then the little monkey is not going to stop you from actually creating the content, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the moral of the story. I think it comes down to my personality. Then I really don't care what people think of me. I never think about it.
That's cool. Nothing touches you, and then you are your own self, always showing excellence and then proving to be excellent.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, let's kind of quickly go back to how you got started and then kind of what brought you to this mentality, rock solid mentality, if you will.
I'm originally from Romania, Transylvania. I am Hungarian by nationality, but I do speak Romanian because I learned it as a country's language. So that was the first two languages I spoke. And then I moved to the US when I was 21 and I started speaking English. So I didn't speak English until I was 21 years old. So this whole thing is like somewhat new to me, right? And by the way, I failed English every year in high school. So that's how bad my English was, right? And really what it came down to is I wanted the American dream from the moment that I can remember. I remember watching an Eddie Murphy movie back in the day, and it wasn't Coming to America, it was 48 Hours. And I just thought he was so funny and so happy. And I remember being a child, just looking at him, be like, I want to be like him when I grow up. I want to be happy and funny and just living my best life and just say things that you think. Like, he would say these things like cursing, like at the time in Romania was like not a thing. Somebody to curse on television, you were like, what? Right? Or things like that. And I just remember, to me, he was so free. Mm-hmm. And I remember wanting to live where he was. I thought he was so free and so happy because where he was at. So that was like my first recollection, going to America, not even knowing he lives in America. Like, I was going wherever Eddie Murphy was in my mind. Mm-hmm. Come to find out he's in America, right? So I moved to the US all by myself when I was 21, and that was in 2003. And I did not have a real estate license until 2011. So I kind of did a bunch of like random jobs. I was a babysitter. I worked in a restaurant. I worked in a plastics department. I worked in restaurant food safety, like coding department, barcoding. Like I've done it all. Like I like to joke and say I did process of elimination, what I don't want to be when I grow up, right? And then I accidentally found real estate. My neighbor was, and still is, the marketing director for Capital Title, a title company back in Michigan. And she thought I would make a great realtor because I did have to be social on Facebook, because when I moved to the US, I moved by myself. So I left everybody back in Transylvania, my parents, my sisters, my childhood friends, everybody. So I had to be really active on Facebook because that was my only option of seeing them getting married and having kids and going on vacation and, just life happening. So then I didn't have to get homesick and miss people. So I was very active on Facebook, and she saw that and she thought, well, you make a great realtor. You already put your life out there on Facebook. Might as well do it for, social marketing purposes. And she recommended me to Real Estate One. I went and talked to the broker. They said that they would pay for my licensing if I pass. I passed right away. First try, I passed because I got a lot of math. And I love math because you don't have to translate math, right? And I'm a big nerd. That was it. And I got into real estate thinking it's going to be easy. Because, I watched HGTV, like I see the reality of real estate. And come to find out that reality has actually barely anything to do with selling sunset, right? Like nobody is wearing those heels, okay? Nobody is walking new construction in those heels, girls, okay? That's just not the show. I remember having like an extra set of tennis shoes in my car because you never know if you go from an event to a building site that you have to put like shoes on that you can actually walk in. Right. So that's really how it started. And because I had no sphere of influence, I kind of had to figure out how can I find clients. Mm-hmm. And at that time, my only clients said were strangers because I didn't really know anyone. Right. I was a grown ass adult, excuse my French, when I moved to the US. So that was it. I started marketing myself under the Gogo's real estate brand on Facebook, and then I took it to Instagram and took it to LinkedIn and all of these different platforms, and that was it. I suddenly had a cute little brand named Gogo's Real Estate. Yeah.
So it's almost like social media was like the prop, the support for you to just kind of go out and meet with people. Because
it was like my rocket ship. I'm like, what's going to take me there, whatever the there is, which reaching my goals, right? The fastest possible way. And to me, that ended up being social media.
People chase shiny objects, and especially, social media, the different widgets on our phone. We are glued to our phones. So how did you not get distracted, and how did you go from getting started to becoming a top producer?
Well, if you decide to do social media, people tell you put your phone down. Not if you want to make money. If you want to make money with social media, grab your phone. The problem is most people grab their phone to intake information. I grab my phone to create. Right? So if you want to make money with social media, don't scroll. Create. Be the creator. Be the reason people watch their phone for 4 hours, right? So I give them enough content that they never have a chance to forget who I am and what I do. Mm-hmm. Right? So as long as they remember Gogo's Real Estate, and as long as I'm the first thought, they know real estate, right? They know that anything real estate, I am their person. I did my job. But for that, you need to stay in front of them. So you have to become the creator, not the intaker of information.
So staying top of mind was enabled with you being on social media.
Oh, absolutely. It's free marketing. Like people will literally raise their hand, be like, I'm ready. We are having a baby. Can you help us move? And I'm like, absolutely. I would love to. Congratulations. Let's get you a 4-bedroom house because the 3-bedroom I got you last year is not enough. So you slowly just sank your teeth into social media and you just grew. And then what was your journey from starter to being a top producer? Can you walk us through that journey? Absolutely. So let's do that super quick because it's 15 years of data, right? So in my first year, I made a whooping $16,000. Would go me. Not enough. It does not pay you're not living the life on $16,000, right? I probably made enough to cover my bills and that was about it. So that was my first year, but then I am a sore loser. So I don't know about you, but like if I am doing something, I need to be on the top of the list or I'm not doing it. Like I'm not half-assing something. I'm not kinda like top of the list or not on the list at all. So for example, jumping out of airplanes, I do not need to be in first position. Somebody can have the first 10,000 positions. I'm happy on the bottom of that list, right? But like real estate, then I decide to do, I better freaking be a local top producer and an international name that people just know, or I'm not doing it. So when I started researching all of the top producers, at that time I was with a brokerage that was very localized. So I could only do real estate in that Livingston County, Michigan, right? But I interviewed all of the top producers to come to find out all of the things that they do, because there's a reason. Like, this is why they say success leaves clues. Yes, it does. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. If someone's successful, just go ask them how they do it, or study them. Go on their website, go on their social media, watch every video, go on their YouTube, get 2008 Lost on their YouTube, and just follow the proven steps. So I interviewed all of the agents, come to find out that they were buying Zillow leads, or they were, doing mailers for $3,000 a month, 8,000 households or whatever, right? And I was like, everything costs money, or door knocking, or calling for sale by owners. I had a very strong accent at the time. My name is Gogo. So I'm like, wrong job, right? So very quickly I realized the long list of things I wasn't willing to do, but I also knew that I wasn't willing to be a loser. So I said, okay, then how am I going to make a name for myself, right? And that left me with not much, but something that it came natural to me, right? So I love social media. I'm already doing it for personal reasons, put a little business pin on it, call it a day. And 2, it was free. 3, I could do it from home or from anywhere, as long as I have this thing and it's 111, 111 angel numbers. As long as I just grab my phone all the time at random, like just randomly I grabbed it to show you, this is my office. Wow. As long as I have this, I can do my job. Which gives me freedom, location freedom, time freedom. I could be with the kids at the park and do real estate from there, right? So I stuck it out and I said, okay, then it is my job. So if somebody decides that they're going to cold call, they do it every morning from 8 to 11, like until the cows come home, right? Or whatever their schedule is. So then I said, okay, then this is my job. Now I need to handle it like it's my job. And it is right now, it's my full-time job, and it has been for the last 15 years. So then after I figured out, okay, what am I not willing to do? What am I willing to do to be a winner? Then every year after that, I just doubled down on social media. And every year after that, I have doubled my business. So I went from 16,000 to 36,000 to 75,000 to 156,000 to 300 and something to 400 and something. And then now I have not made less than 7 digits since 2019. So 2019 was my first year that one of my businesses made 7 digits. And the funny thing is, 2 of my businesses made 7 digits that year. So it's kind of like running that, 4-minute mile, right? Where, or 6-minute mile.
Right, 4-minute mile.
4-minute mile, right? Because I'm not a fast runner. Even 6 for me would be amazing, right? With my short little chubby legs. But it's kind of like that. Like, if you know how to do it once, suddenly you just know how to do it multiple times in the same year, and you've never done it before, right? So it's that. And then, so you need to figure out what is the thing that you're really good at, that comes natural to you. Because one of my favorite quotes is, you never work a day in your life if you love what you do. Absolutely. So what is that thing that you love, and you don't even feel like you're doing it? You're just kind of like, oh, that's just what I do. It's just what I do, right? It's a natural talent. God gave you that talent. So I would recommend double down on that. That's just what I do. That talent that God naturally gave you. Find the people that speak that language, right? Because somebody who is very sophisticated and they need them to, the realtor to be dressed to the nines. I am not their agent. Like, this is how I dress. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have baggy jeans today and a sweater. And this is how I would show up, right, to an appointment, because I am not there to impress you with my looks. I'm there to impress you with my brain. But I'm not everyone's cup of tea. So if that's the case, find your people, because it's much harder to convince someone who doesn't like you to like you and want to work with you versus finding the people that would like you because they speak your language. So that just means you have to get better at marketing. You have to figure out who is your target audience, where are they at, what language they speak, what's the pebble in their shoe, what are their pain points, and solve their problems. Money exchanging hands when you solve a problem. The bigger the problem you solve, the more people are willing to pay for it. And so I figured out, what am I good at? I stay in my lane. I do it constantly. It's my job, right? Like, someone's calling, I'm doing social media, and that's it. That's it. That's the recipe. And then you just double, triple. Yes. And over time, you have to multiply yourself, because if you do this right, there's only going to be one of you, multiple platforms, not enough time of the day to get back to everybody, to create the content on every platform according to the platforms. Some allow 30 hashtags, some allow 5 hashtags, some don't allow hashtags at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, so you have to figure out where each of your platform fits in, has to be recreated to match to the platform. So eventually I had to start hiring assistants. I started with Christy, my very, very first assistant. She started doing like transaction coordination stuff at first and just keeping me organized because I am not an organized person. And then today I have 14 assistants. Most of them are virtual. So I have 2 in person. They're here in the house. We have a life manager. Her name is Mandy. And then Laura is my personal assistant. And then I have 14 online. So that's what it takes today to be me, right? I'm very organized. I live by my calendar. I'm scheduled for months and months and months and months out. I know what I do every Tuesday morning at 11. I do a podcast. So it's super simple because I do the same boring stuff over and over again. But that is the recipe for success, is doing the stuff even when you don't feel like it, because you know that that's what makes you money. So that, and then also eventually you cannot possibly build with this force and this speed for the rest of your life, right? You will burn out. I guarantee you, I burned out 3 times. Burnout is a thing. Wow. And so hopefully I never burn out again, because 3 times the charm. You live and learn. But I would recommend to find the rhythm to the way you like to live and like to do business, right? And what is that? And then hire everything else out. So eventually you will know your hourly rate, which, by the way, is the money that you made last year divided by 2,080. If you work healthy 40 hours, you work about 2,080 hours a year. So take all the money made last year divided by 2,080, that is your hourly rate. When that is staring at you, let's say it's $120 an hour, why are you doing a Canva post? Would you pay somebody $120 an hour to create your Canva post?
Right.
If the answer is no, then why are you doing it? You know what I mean? So you have to, in order to grow, eventually you have to build a support team. You have to remove tasks from your plate that don't make you money or take you a very long time. It's not making your hourly rate. And then you also need to have sources of income that are passive or reoccurring. Right? So most agents will work for active income, which means you have to actively work to trade time for money. So you trade an hour of your time for a commission, right? That's active source of income. I want every agent to have all 3, have active, have passive, and have reoccurring. And that's what really truly going to give you freedom. And eXp allows us to do that through stocks and revenue share. So yes, we have commissions and referrals and all of those other things that every other brokerage. But we are publicly traded, so we get stocks in the company and we get revenue share if and when we decide to bring agents to the company. So those 2 things has drastically changed our lives, going from active income to passive and recurring income by taking the money that we make. First of all, it's coming in monthly versus commissions that are roller coasters, right? And then second, learning to invest it. So you have to learn to put your money to work for you, so you don't have to work for money every month. And so that is the 3rd reason that we are where we are today, is by learning where to invest that money, so you don't have to hustle for the rest of your life.
It's amazing. I mean, so many nuggets. You're just walking and spilling nuggets left, right, and center, and I'm just catching. And the key pieces of information that you shared that stood out are: you don't have to dance with everybody. It's a law of numbers. Make sure that you put yourself out there, and then genuinely be interested, and don't care about what others think of you. Just be yourself.
Don't think of them at all.
Yeah. And kind of grow this, not this thick skin mentality, but a resilient mentality, so that nothing kind of comes and attacks you from any angle. That's what.
Yeah, I think it truly has to do with you loving and accepting yourself how God created you to be. Yeah. Right? So I believe that God doesn't make mistakes, so I must be perfect in his eyes. Right? Perfect in the sense that this is how he wanted to create me. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm fulfilling my purpose. And if I'm fulfilling my purpose, those people who just not in my life, they're just not meant to be in my life by design.
Right. And you also brought another interesting point. You're 1 out of 8 billion people. How much more unique can you get? You just kind of alluded to the fact that you're with eXp.
Yeah.
So what caught your attention? Because you were a top producer, you weren't with eXp. So what grabbed your attention about eXp, and how has it been with eXp for you?
So the eXp conversation, really, it comes down to, and now I've been with eXp for 8 years, right? So I feel like I'm talking from 8 years of experience. I want to take credit of how smart I was when I made this EXP decision. But really, it was my husband. It was my husband who was like, honey, you really need to look at this. And you really need to, like, this is the future of real estate. You really need to make a decision. Because I was looking at it, but I just switched to Keller Williams from Real Estate One. So I spent 7.5 years at Real Estate One. I just switched in February of 2018 to Keller Williams. And this was like the summer of 2018. So barely like 4 or 5 months at Keller. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at another brokerage again. Like, what are my clients going to say? What is everybody that knows me going to say? That I'm a job hopper? Can I stick it out somewhere long enough? All that. But I can't help the timing. Like, I can't help that at that time, the best opportunity was presented to me. Like, again, it's a God wink, right? And you need to listen to the God winks. And I looked at it, I chewed on it for quite a while. And then I was like, one morning, it was like 4:30 in the morning. And mind you, I am not a morning person. Like, I'm more of like an 8:30, 9 o'clock morning person. I'm a very late night owl. But I woke up around 4:30 and I was like, okay, I already don't have, like, I was like, okay, what is worst case scenario? If I do switch to EXP, what is worst case scenario? So let's say worst case scenario that the stocks are worth nothing. Worst case scenario, the revenue share, they just won't pay you out. You build this huge organization and they just won't pay you out. It's going to be pennies. The worst case scenario is that you're never actually going to icon. And if that's the reason you're switching over to earn your cap back, but you're not going to icon, then what's the point of leaving, right? So I went through all of these worst case scenarios. I literally set up, dead out of sleep. And I was like, I'm already living my worst case scenario. I am in my worst case scenario at Keller Williams because I have no stocks. I have no ability to earn my cap back, and they pay pennies for revenue share, which is profit share, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in my worst case scenario. Mm-hmm. And so I made the switch. And it was literally the best business decision I have ever made in my real estate career in this lifetime.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, think about it. Everybody that's with another brokerage that is not publicly traded, that means you can spend 10, 20 years of your lifetime. And at this time, I spent 8 years of my life with the previous brokerage, right? Which was a third of my life, a quarter of my life. And I had nothing to show for it besides a box of goodies. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Spending a quarter of your life as a top producing agent at a brokerage, and you have a bunch of trophies that are worth absolutely nothing. No matching 401k, no health insurance, no retirement plan, no paid vacation, nothing, big fan, nothing. I have nothing to show for 8 years of my life as a top producing agent. That is so silly. Mm-hmm. That is so silly. And even today, so many agents are with old fashioned brokerages where that is like, well, it's just the cost of doing business. No, it's not. Netflix is in town and Blockbuster's out of business for a reason.
Right. Absolutely.
So I made the decision. EXP changed our lives. This is the best place to be in real estate. I know there's a few of them, and in my mind, we have no competition because everybody's kind of like a late to the party kind of, oh, let us just copy them, right? I don't have a competition. I think this is the best real estate company to be at, period. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm here. But that's also like, it's not just about me though. It's about all of the agents, and it's about the way it's structured. And it's a way that with every closing, we earn a chunk of the company. And we finally one day will be able to retire, as I like to call it, the beach boulevard of EXP, somewhere by the ocean, right? So we all get to do it together. I created the Team Gogo family, of which you're a part of, you and your wife. Yeah. And it's like truly we just get to do real estate together. We have our freedom to have our brands and build however we want to build, but we get to do this thing together. And I think it's just so beautiful that we don't pay each other anything. We just, hey, we meet at events and masterminds and weekly calls, and we can text each other anytime. Be like, how are you? How are you? Like, it's just, it is the best place.
I cannot agree more. So you have, for those viewers who are watching this video, you threw the term revenue share. Can you just go into detail as to what it is so that they get the full grasp of what it is and how it can help them? We talked about residual income, we talked about revenue share. They kind of understood, and then it could have flown by. Yeah, so if you can just shed insights, that'll be helpful.
Yeah, so revenue share, pretty much it comes it's kind of in the meaning of the word, right? Revenue share. So if you decide to bring agents to the company, they're productive agents, meaning that they do transactions, right? And they come over to EXP. Every time, so at EXP, we have an 80-20 split and a 16,000 cap. So as we are capping, we are paying 20% to the company until we reach that 16,000 cap. So out of the 20%, eXp works off of 50% of the revenue. That means that 20% that comes in as company dollar, 10% goes to revenue share, 10% goes to the company dollar, right? So eXp works off of this 10%. This other 10% goes to the agents who brought the agent who closed the transaction this month. So us agents, we never pay a penny to each other. But the company says, hey, out of company dollar, because if it wasn't for you bringing Ravi and Ravi bringing his wife and so on and so forth, this would have never happened. So when you guys close the transaction, everybody above you, every time you're paying in your 20%, everybody above you gets a chunk of that 10, right? So that 10 gets split between the 7 generation up. So the way they look at it, kind of like that 6 degrees of separation of like somebody knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who knew me who knew you, right? And then so go on and forth. So then the 7 generation up. So every time I close a transaction, my 7 generation of sponsors get a small percentage of the 10% of the company dollar. Now let's switch it when you join. If you decide, believe it or not, 84% of realtors at eXp do not collect revenue share. So that means they have not brought a single agent to the company, and that is their prerogative. You do not have to. I know many brokerages talk about eXp, we are a recruiting company. 84% of eXp agents have not brought a single agent, and that is their prerogative. But if you do decide to do it, like for in my case, I couldn't shut up about it. I would scream it from the rooftop because it's my duty. eXp changed our lives. So I will tell it to everybody that has a pulse and a real estate license that, hey, you need to listen because I can change your life, right? And so I did that. So as the agents were coming over, now I started to build my team or downline or organization, what you want to call it, right? So I personally sponsored almost 300 agents now, and the 300 over the years turned into almost 1,600 agents. Last year alone in 2025 last year, we closed almost $3.7 billion in sales with a B in 1 year. So we did that together because your team Gogo too. So that's in like 1 year of real estate. Since I started the Team Gogo organization, I'm taking a wild guess because there's some years I can't track, but we are probably over $15 billion with the B of closed real estate transactions. So if we take that, let's say for just fun over here, 15 billion, let me turn this over, times 3%. Let's see what is, so that is $450 million in commissions collected in the Team Gogo organization since I joined eXp and I started our family of agents, right? And so what happens is every time an agent that I brought to the company closes a transaction, eXp says, hey, Gogo, if it wasn't for you, Ravi would have never joined, right? And so here's a small percentage of the dollar that Ravi paid to the company, never from you. You will never pay me a penny, and I don't pay anybody a penny. We don't owe each other anything, but it comes out of company dollar. And that gets deposited right around the 20th of every month. So it's coming up any minute now. We are getting paid revenue share, right? And that is real money. Like now I make close to 7 digits, not quite there, but very close to 7 digits in revenue share every single year. And it is life-changing. Like it is life-changing. And the best part, our oldest son is type 1 diabetic. So technically he has a disability. He is doing amazing right now and his sugars are fine. But what if one day diabetes gets the best of him? I don't know if you knew this, Ravi, but revenue share is willable. So you can leave it to whoever you want to leave it to. If you want to leave it to your children, you can build something in this lifetime and your children can then enjoy it until the cows come home for the rest of their lifetime. And theirs and theirs and theirs, as long as they are agents producing agents in your downline.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, that it's coming from the company dollar, not from agents paying each other. So that's an important distinction. So one of the things is, what does success mean to you? I know that you're just in there, you're high-spirited, you're just a giver, and you just do so many things. But a deep introspective look of Gogo. What does success mean to her, and what are her long-term goals?
Oh gosh. Well, let's get really deep and spiritual over here. Originally, I think I became an achiever because growing up, my parents never told me they love me. There was no affection. There was no words of affirmation. There was no attention. There was no nothing, right? So I was always tried to achieve because I thought, oh, if I do this, that's when they're going to pay attention to me. Oh, if I do that, that's when they're going to pay attention to me. That's when they're going to tell me that they love me or they're proud of me or something. So I feel like initially it started with achieving constantly, hoping that I am going to get their attention. I think that's where it started initially. And then as humans, we are creatures of habit, right? And now I don't know how to do anything else because now that's who I am. I just constantly achieve because I achieve. It's kind of like a runner's high, right? So initially when I moved to America, I started getting this bug of like, hold on a minute. I read this quote that says, if you don't build your dreams, someone is going to hire you to build theirs. And I was like, whoa, hold on a minute. I didn't come to America to slave away for a salary and some 3% matching freaking 401k. That is not the American dream. There is better. Like I want the yacht with the helipad, even though I get sick on yachts. I just want it for formality so I can say that I have one. I probably never go on it. I rent it. I'll turn it into a business. But with that being said, it's like initially it was the American dream. And then as I started achieving more and more, and even dreams that I never even dreamed of, like I started, being named in Success Magazine, top 50 most influential women in the United States, the year before, top 125 most influential people in the United States, alongside Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and Mel Robbins. And I was like, I'm like, hi, my name is Gogo. I'm like little Nemo over here. Right. So I started realizing that I was achieving things that I never even set goals for. So I kind of started feeling like I was running out of things to do and I was achieving that just to achieve, if that makes sense. Right. Because I was like, again, it's creatures of habit. Like, let's achieve another goal because I always set a goal and then I ran out of things and I want to achieve. So let's just set a goal so I have something to chase. Right. And then I was like, okay, hold on a minute. That doesn't give me that feeling anymore. Like, now I want something more, that feeling. I want that feeling that makes me feel so good when I achieve a certain level. So then I started getting lost on the spiritual game, right? And then now I want to make God proud. One day when I get to those pearly gates of heaven, which I hope I do, I want God to like touch my shoulders. I imagine him being very tall and me being very little. Right? I imagine him just like, child, you put all the skills that I gave you to a test. Congratulations. Like, I just want to make God proud. But anything that he put inside of me, I will exhaust those skills and put it to good use. And then now, what I really enjoy now is helping the next generation of entrepreneurs and realtors reaching their goals. Of course, there's always the next level. I can go to being a multi, 8-digit millionaire and then go to be a billionaire and all that. And of course, those are all goals. But along the ways, I want to help the next generation. That's what gives me my high now. So now I coach and I train the next generation of hungry entrepreneurs and business owners and realtors who are ready to take their businesses to 7 digits and have that American dream and that freedom that they all want for themselves. So that's on a program. That's what drives me nowadays.
You've just thought long and hard about this, and you're clear as to what you want ultimately, right? The clarity of vision. Think of achieving has caught you young and watched you grow, so that you don't look at it as something that, okay, I need to slog for it to make it happen. It just comes, it's the default. And so
it is my default. It is my default. And it's also, it's my curse too, because I don't know how to slow down. I always go a million miles a minute because that's the tempo that I created. And so if I slow down, I always feel like it's all just going to fall apart. We are going out of business. Like something must be wrong if there's nothing in my calendar, right? Like I've always been so scheduled and so busy. So now I'm learning how to slow down and how to smell the roses and, just take a step back and actually enjoy what we created versus chasing that next thing constantly. So yeah, it's both.
It's amazing that you recognize and realize, okay, all right, life need not be on the high-speed lane. You need to just take detours and then see where the next rest
go
area.
Sightseeing. Sometimes get off the highway and go do some sightseeing and go to that local dive bar and meet some locals and have the best food of your life. And you know what I mean? Like, yes, both. We need both. And also, like, we need a healthy tempo. Like you cannot, when you are in creation mode, there are phases to business, right? And when you are in creation mode, you need that I can outwork anyone and you have to outwork anyone, because if not, somebody else is going to win doing the same thing, right? And so there are phases to life. But now that I'm at the level where we make more than we can ever spend, right now it's time to like slow down. But again, we are creatures of habit. I've been going a million miles a minute for 15 years. How do you go from that to like, oh, let me smell the roses? I'm like, where are the roses? Like I've been plowing through them, right? So it is every phase in your life and career, it requires a new level of you, and it requires new skills and new mindset. And so in this one, I really enjoy helping others. And then when I'm not chasing as much, because it's not so much my goals than helping you reach yours. Then now I'm learning how to like take a chill pill.
So from your story, achieving comes naturally to you. So you'll have to get trained on how to slow down now. That's a different problem that many humans have.
Exactly. I'm like, how do you chill?
Right. How do you chill?
How can somebody teach me how to chill? Dwayne will tell you all the time. I have two options. He always says I saw the first 15 minutes of every movie. Because if I slow down, then I'm sleeping. Like I only have two options: or I'm up and literally my brain's going a mile a minute, or I am about to fall asleep. Like those are the only two options I have. So even when we finally sit down to watch TV, he used to get so mad at me. He's like, "You are still on your phone." I'm like, if I put it down, I'm gonna fall asleep. So I literally watch TV by playing games on my phone, and I watch a movie and I play games, because I have a very, very active brain, and it literally needs to be constantly kept awake. Right. And so I play card games or puzzles or word puzzles or something that requires my brain to work. Because if not, as soon as you can clock it from the moment I put my phone down, 5 to 10 minutes, and I am out. Like, might as well just say good night and call it another day.
I can literally vouch for it, because I'm 3 hours behind you time zone wise. No matter whenever I send you a message, I'm guaranteed of a near real time response or within the next 2 to 3 minutes. Amazing. You've blown my mind, literally. It's like...
But that is like, I take my business partnership super seriously. You decided to partner with me. I am your business partner. So I'm here to help you however I can. I don't always know the answer to it. You actually, when you were joining us, you brought up some good pointers. I was like, no, I don't think that's how it works. And you're like, yep, I think that's how it works. Right. And so there are things, I don't know it all, but what I do know, I want to share with you guys, right? Because that's why you partner with me. Like, that's what a partner does. They help each other. But that's also the reason why I'm so organized, and this is my office, right? So it's always with me. So there's no excuses. Yes, if I'm on a live or if I'm on stage, it might be an hour or two before I get back to you. But because of the way our system's set up and Christy or Dwayne is always copied on it, then you always get a response within like minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you all are so much on it that I will not have to search for answers. I'm guaranteed to get a response one way or another, right? So it's amazing. And
Hear that.
so I just, that kind of perfectly feeds into my next question. You have a 1,600 member organization by attraction that you developed. How are you, with you being like really on the go, Gogo being on the go, does it really require, or how exactly do you manage so many people, and what's your perfect day like?
So everything comes back to, I live by my calendar. Like literally, I can tell you, like I am so organized and so pre-scheduled, and I know what I'm doing. Like, this is my calendar. So every day I open my calendar, this is what my month looks like. And everything is color coordinated, and everybody always knows, where I'm at and what we are doing. And I know. So at night before I go to bed, one of the things I do is I check my calendar for the next day. And on Sundays, I check my calendar for the next week. So I kind of know what I'm walking into. Is it an easier flowing week? Is it a super scheduled week? Am I in a million places in the same time, or kind of just floating around, right? But so it could be anything in between. So A, super organized, I live by my calendar. B, you have to know what you are good at and what's making you the money, and you have to schedule those. Like, it has to be reoccurring in your calendar. So every Monday, and today's Monday, and usually I do not do podcasts on Monday, but because you're my partner, I didn't want you to have to wait months to get a Tuesday, so we moved you up for Monday. Other than that, I would only be doing podcasts on Tuesdays. But with that being said, it's like when you know what are your money makers. So like Team Gogo, it's an organization. There's 1,600 agents that I'm responsible for their knowledge and their business, and they chose me to be the business partners. I take those very seriously. You're as good as your word. So if I promise that there's a training every Wednesday, you can put your head down on it. There's going to be a training every Wednesday. Even if none of you shows up, I will still be there because I promise that. And you are your character, right? And so that requires a lot of planning, and that requires a full team. So every Monday we have a Team Gogo meeting. We have all the meetings for all of my businesses, but one of them being the downline and organization, which we call the Team Gogo International Family of Agents. We celebrate first of all, we have our training. So we want to see, do we have, who's the trainer? Did they send in the video? What are they going to be teaching? Do we have the description? All of those things. Then we have to create the marketing materials, like you guys all know who's going to be teaching what this week. Then we celebrate our top producers, top agent attractors, icons of the month, and if we are having babies. So then we look, okay, who's having a baby? Who are the icons of the month, top producers, agent attractors? I send out gifts for everybody every single month. I call you on your birthday. So every person that named me as their sponsor, like I am your direct sponsor or co-sponsor, that means I'm going to sing you happy birthday on your birthday. So that's all in my calendar. So every morning I wake up, I know whose birthdays there are, and I know somewhere during the day I need to send you a voice note, and I just send a text, and then I play out, hit audio message, and I'm like, happy birthday. Like I literally sing right there person. So really it just comes down to being super duper organized and meaning what you say, right? Like if I said we're going to do a training every Wednesday at 1:00, I've been with the company now almost 8 years, 7.5 years. We have done a training every Wednesday at 1:00 in the afternoon, unless it was Christmas or New Year's Eve or something like that, right? Other than that, so there is, if we are taking 7.5 years, let's ask ChatGPT. One second, let's see. Hey chat, so if I've done a training every Wednesday at 1:30 in the Team Gogo organization since October 18th of 2018, how many trainings have I done?
All right, let's crunch it. From October 2018 to now, that's a little over 7 years and almost 4 months. Weekly training means once per week, so multiply the weeks in that time frame. So you've run that show about 380 times, give or take. That's consistency on steroids and a whole lot of value packed into Team Gogo. I'm sure your agents are eating it up every single week.
Yeah. So 383, I think it's sad. So let's say it's 380 hours, but sometimes you do 2 hours, an hour and a half. It's the average, I would say. So really we are talking almost 500 to 600 hours just in our Wednesday trainings. And then, everything else that we do inside the organization. So I would say it really requires to being a man or a woman of your word, number one. Even if you don't feel like it, right? Like so many people just give up like, oh, I don't feel good this week. I don't have that luxury. I don't have the luxury or I don't feel good. Even if I have a fever, I'm showing up because that's what I said I would. But that's how I do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So I would say number one is do as you said you would, even when you don't feel like it. Number two, and even sometimes the other hard part for me is when you guys don't show up. Right. And I bring an amazing trainer and we do the trainings and it's so good. And I know it can move the needle in your business. And then we have like 7 people show up. Right. So those things hurt me. But in the same, I still won't give up because it's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of the other people. Right. So that, and then I would say plugging it into your calendar and handling it like it's your job. Mm-hmm. Right. Like people go Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 to a regular job for a certain amount of money. So it's no different doing what we do. It's still a job. It requires work, hard work and dedication, right? That and what else? Connections, really. It's like that human connection that you get with the people. It's not like I consider us family. Like we hang up the phone saying I love you and we go to each other's birthday parties and we go to masterminds and we hug, right? We don't shake hands like we are family. So I think those things allows us to continuously being able what we do.
One of the things you as you were talking about, you talked about revenue share. Thanks for sharing insight. What does co-sponsorship mean for people who are watching this podcast?
So in the past at eXp, when the agent joined, they could only choose one sponsor. So sometimes the agent was like, I wanna go with Gogo, but I have to choose my sister. If not, she's gonna kill me. And understandably, I would kill you if you were my sister and you chose somebody else, right? And so with that being said, it's like we are changing the model to a point where you don't have to choose. You're choosing, but you don't have to choose. You get to have two. So this way you don't give up on family or friends. Like if somebody was your lifetime friend, choose them. Absolutely. If they're your family, choose them. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you can't learn from me too. Right? So then with the co-sponsorship, now the oncoming agent can actually have two. One is sponsor, one is co-sponsor. It's really no difference to the agent. And this way an agent can have access to both and trainings and things like that. So I think with you, I'm actually co-sponsor, correct?
Correct, you are.
If I remember correctly. So that's pretty much what it comes down to, is that you said, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but somewhere along the way you were like, hey, I want to have access to Gogo's trainings. I want to be partnering with her, but your actual sponsor is your wife.
Yeah, and that's how my revenue share organization, and I chose, Yeah,
and as you should choose your wife. Just like Dwayne, could you imagine if Dwayne told somebody else? I'm like, what do you mean? It's not even an option. You know what I mean? Like, you have to choose your wife, right? But on top of it, you're like, hey, I can choose a co. And so I want Gogo too, because I want to learn from her. So that's what co-sponsorship allows. It allows the oncoming agent to have two sponsors versus one. So not having to choose business over family. And that's pretty much it. So you get to choose who is sponsor, who is co-sponsor, and you get to learn from both. You almost get like two different organizations helping you to succeed in your line of work.
So when I kind of looked at it, how can we make sure that we talked about the 6 pillars, right? Like community collaboration, coaching, mentorship, training, and support. How can we just make sure that we provide guardrails for anybody who's partnering with us? For example, we have 3 solid co-sponsors: you, Joshua Smith, GSD Mode, and Mike Sherrard. And all your trainings are going to be flowing through us to agents who partner with us. So which means like we have set the guardrails. My wife and I always talk about, how do we make sure that any agent who partners with us have absolute guarantees that they're not going to fail unless they desperately try to fail in this business? We provide so much information. That's our goal. That's our motto.
That's what I mean. Like, you cannot fail unless you learn, just as you said, unless that was your goal.
You'll have to try and fail. By default, you'll be successful.
Like, you should show up to the trainings, but like, okay, that's exactly what I'm not going to be doing. I'm going to do the opposite, right? So that now I totally agree with you. We train you out of your ever-loving mind, and we'll give you options, more options than you have time of the day of choosing how you want to run business. So really what it comes down to is also some of the agents, when they were joining originally, they were like, well, I don't have anything to offer. Like, what do I have to offer, especially if it's in your agent, right? So then this way, everybody has something to offer, because when you partner with me, you're in my downline and organization, which means you get access to all of our trainings, which means they get access to our trainings. Right. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. It's A, having multiple choices, and B, having the ability to offer things that you didn't have to create. You got through partnerships. And then why to reinvent the wheel?
Exactly.
Right? It already exists. Why to go and shoot 360 hours of videos? Be like, no, here's the link. You just have to be the connector. Of course, like, bring your talent to the table and add on to our community. That's why it's community, because we all train inside of our community. But we also don't have to reinvent the wheel. We get to copy and paste from each other.
And yeah, sure. So it's whatever eXp offers, like 60 hours of live training by all these icon agents who are top producers, by the way. And then all the co-sponsors, social media, agent, artificial intelligence training, systems, lead gen, lead follow-up, mindset, everything. We have so much training that one person, if they serialized it, they'll have to live probably for 800 years to even consume it. So that's how much training we have.
And they wouldn't be able to sell any real estate, because they're going to be trained out of their ever-loving mind. All they do is train. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's all about training, as well as it's tactical stuff and actioning on it, so that they're setting themselves up for success. And all this, if anybody has any questions, they can go to momentumpact.com and then find out all about it. And also with respect to your goals and fulfillment, Gogo, we talked about it, but you're having an organization of 1,600 agents. What are a few nuggets that you would share with anybody who is starting new or experienced to just look at this business so that it's rewarding, and then they can take it to the next level?
Ooh. Wow. That's a loaded question, Ravi. Well,
let's break it down. Let's break it down into chunks.
Well, number one, I feel like it's a huge commitment, right? Because it's not like, I feel like doing revenue share, and then next year you have, 7 years later, you have 1,600 agents and you don't feel like doing it anymore. It's not an option, right? Like, these agents have chose you as their sponsor for a lifetime, as long as they're staying with the company. And I feel like that comes with responsibilities. So I feel like, number one, make that business. Is this something that you want to do today, and you can continue doing it for the rest of your life? Because I don't think it would be fair for you to just fall off the face of the earth, change your phone number, and then never talk to these agents again, right? So it's a huge commitment. Also, it's kind of like running any community that you ever have. You ever tried to run a church community or a daycare? Or it is like, there are parts to it where you're like, oh my gosh, do I have to answer that question again? Like when you have 20 agents in your organization and they ask you, is this training recorded? Fine. Yes, it is. It always is. But when you have 1,600 of them and they ask you every month if it's going to be recorded, and you're like, it has been for the last 8 years, every Wednesday, yes, it's recorded. If you can't show up live, it's going to be recorded. You can watch it on our private YouTube channel. So there are certain things that you're going to start sounding like a broken record. You're like, oh my gosh, do I have to answer the same question again? So there are portions of it that are very monotone, that you're just going to have to not lose your shit over it and just answer the same question for the 1,600th time again. But then there's the beauty of it, is when you go to an event and somebody walks up to you and they're like, oh my gosh, Gogo, I cannot believe this is the first time I'm meeting you. Like, I just get to, like, oh, you changed my life. And I went from never even capping to building a small team. And then 𝐈𝐢𝐿, and I'm the #1 team in Kentucky. And, like all of these, like, that's the amazing part of it, to having that little part in someone's success, to know that what we are doing, it's working. That, and you definitely have to be a people person, though.
Yes.
I would say, if you don't like people, don't get into agent attraction. Don't build a team, because you are going to hate it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you're dealing with people. It's like like to joke and say, you're running an adult daycare. Mm-hmm. Right? And I happen to love it. I love people. I love the organizational things. I love the events, the masterminds, the training, the coachings, the sending referrals, having a part in someone's business that's changing their lives. It's a high. It's like a runner's high for me. But it is a lifetime commitment.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. In a sense, like, you are taking responsibility. I mean, genuinely being caring and concerned with helping others around you succeed and getting a thrill out of it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a blend of everything. And for those who are watching this video and want to know exactly how to do this, I've included Gogo's information as well as my information in the description below. Feel free to book into our calendar to learn about how we can help you be successful in this career of yours. It's going to be a no sales pitch, non-pushy stuff. You're going to come to us, talk to us, and get tons of information, and then you can decide as to what you want to do. But we are here to sow seeds of greatness.
Yeah, talk to Ravi, reach out to him in any way that you want, and then he can set up a call with us together if you need another call. But you might just make your decision without ever even talking to me. This is who we are. It is life-changing, and it changed mine. I'm proof of that, and I know that it works for everybody else.
Definitely, Gogo. It totally was an honor meeting with you, talking to you, getting what was top of mind for you, and helping our community thrive. And so before I let you go, any parting thoughts, or more specifically, if you were to advise your younger self when you got started in this, what would it be, looking back?
Oh, gosh. Then just always follow your gut feeling and your visions, right? Like I know today for a fact, but when I was younger, I didn't always know these little hunches and these little visions, if I should follow them or if it's a random thought. I believe today that God puts those ideas in your head for a reason, because He created you and He knows who you are and what talents you have and what skills you have. And if He puts an idea in your head, it's there for you to do something about it. So I would probably just advise my younger self to learn that lesson faster, just to trust it every time. If an idea pops in your head, just trust it every time, because God put it there for a reason.
We all fail our way through to success, right? And right now, looking back, and everything is 20/20 in hindsight. So what would you just do now to accelerate your success to where you are? Why not, 3 years, 5 years? Why did it even take this long? That's why it was. Yeah. It was a retrospective question.
Trust your gut every time.
Okay.
Every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. And any parting thoughts? Gogo.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are wonderful. And I wish you all the best success. And everybody that chooses you as their sponsor, they're lucky to have you and your wife.
Oh, super. Thank you for your kind words. And we appreciate your support. And as I said, you are a near real-time responder to phone calls as well as not so much phone calls, but text, you're guaranteed to get a response. And my wife and I pride ourselves, if there is something that a client of ours, our agents whom we support, contact us, it is our duty to just get back to them. First line of business, throw everything away because they trusted you.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Exactly. And a human connection, every opportunity comes from the next human, and your human connections is your biggest investment in your business.
Very well said, Gogo. Thank you very much and appreciate
Thank
your
you
time
so
and
much.
appreciate you.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
me too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having
Bye-bye.
me.
Sure.